Want help to grow your business? Download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.
Hi and welcome to The Tradie Show. I'm Andy and this is my wife Angela, and today we're going to talk about the tradie's guide to outsourcing admin tasks.
So the first question we really need to answer, because I'm sure you're all asking, well, what on earth is outsourcing? So outsourcing is the practice of having certain job functions done outside of your company instead of an employee handling them. So you outsource normally to either a company or to an individual. So now that you know what outsourcing is all about, but we will obviously go into detail.
Well, I think with outsourcing, people sometimes look at outsourcing as, oh, you're outsourcing around the world. And we will talk a lot about that today,
Sure.
But it's not just that. It's about what can you outsource from your business at this point in time.
Yeah.
And that could be to the next door neighbour, or that could be to the bookkeeper down the road, or it could be someone around the world. But that's, I think, be clear on that. When people say outsourcing, they automatically think worldwide. But I think, it's a bit of a mixture of all.
Yes, so we'll cover off both so that you have a good understanding of how you can do this in your trade business and specifically with your admin tasks.
And make a massive difference, because we all know when you're a tradie, especially when you first start your business, you are wearing every hat, aren't you? You do your branding, you design your flyers and your business cards, and you get out on the road and start driving down the road, and you do your ads in the paper and do all your marketing, and then you answer the phone.
Yes.
You deal with the customer, then you book in the job, then you go to the job, you do the job, you quote the customer, you invoice the customer, you come back home, you may these days with technology, and you should be doing this, you do your invoicing, your quoting, and everything should go into your accounting package, like while you're out on the road. But the old school way would be you'd finish a hard day's work and then you'd come home and have to start doing all of your bookkeeping. And you just wear so many hats. And that's the hardest part of being in business, is when you're trying to be the tradie and work so hard and make that money, but you're trying to do everything else as well.
That's it. Because this is how we know most tradies feel, is they've got so much on their plate. They just do so much, like you've said, wearing every single hat, that they literally cannot fit in another thing. You're literally at bursting point, and this is what we want to fix so that you're not in this situation anymore.
Is that what that guy was doing?
Yeah.
He just couldn't fit another mouthful of food in his guts.
That's it. So you're left feeling like this guy. You're left feeling really, really stressed and wondering how things are ever going to get better, and that you didn't sign up for this when you first started your trade business, and it's so many years down the track and nothing seems to be getting any better, and your wife's starting to get frustrated with you because you're still staying up late at night doing invoicing. You're not spending time with the children, and you're left sitting there with your hands on your heads just going, it's got to get better. So how do we make that better?
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there. I think all business owners have been there at that point in time, and you just get to a point that you're making money, but you just know that something's seriously got to change. And what we're going to help you with a bit today is how you can take some of those stress levels away from what you do, because not only does it hurt you personally, but Ange mentioned there, it can affect the wife, it can affect the kids, it can affect your friends, but it can actually affect your balance, your balance of how much money you're actually making by you're trying to do too much.
Yes.
And sometimes you've got to realise that just by getting someone to give you a hand can make such a massive difference.
That's true. Because what we know is true is that with a lot of trade business owners, because you've created this habit, you've been wearing all of these hats for years and years and years, one, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to get help with regards to outsourcing any of your admin tasks. So hence you procrastinate. So you're left still holding the baby. You're still left holding all of that workload because you want to get rid of it. You know it's created stress. You feel like you're totally burnt out and you want to make some differences, but you just go, I don't even know where to start, but I'm just going to sit on my hands and procrastinate and not get anything done at all. all. So we want to change that completely.
Yeah, and I was at this level in that first year of business, and I was wearing every hat. And a good mentor of me had a mentor to me had told me that, you do have to wear so many hats, but the trick is, what days of the week do you wear those hats?
Sure.
So before I started outsourcing, then I started breaking my days into when my accounting days, when I chased debts, when I did some marketing, and that made my life a lot easier as well. So on a smaller scale, if you can break when you wear your hats, sorry, the accounts department isn't in today, but I can have a look at that on Thursday. That can really help you. But the next level is really, how can you outsource that stuff so you're just not bogged down all the time. And really where the money is for tradies is to be on the tools, working very hard at the beginning of business, and then it sort of turns into working on your business to make sure you're feeding the work and the marketing and everything for the business.
Yeah, I think
the staff.
Yeah. And to your point, it's about keeping focus. So, splitting your days up with regards to your hats, like saying, call accounts on Wednesday and that's when we'll help you. It's about making sure you stay really focused in the moment, because I don't know about you, but I'm sure you've been in that times where you've been working on a particular project or whatever, like maybe you're doing you're writing invoices or quotes or whatever at home. Hopefully not invoices and maybe just quotes, big ones, because everything else should have been done at the job.
If you're writing your invoices at home, you are doing it wrong. It depends on the style of business you're working with, but on smaller style of jobs, you should be invoicing on the spot and collecting money on the spot.
Yeah, totally. So say you're at home and you're doing a quote and, you're in that moment and you're really focused and it's taken you kind of 10 minutes to kind of get in the zone and really think about what you're doing. And the next minute the phone rings and someone's there asking you about a particular invoice and they want a copy of something. Well, you've completely left the moment of where you were. And if you actually go help that person, I mean, admittedly, having the phone ring, to be honest, has kind of taken you away anyway. But try and stay really focused in the activity that you're doing at the time. So, a good example of how to, when you've just started, how when you're actually wearing all these hats, how you can actually split kind of those hats on every single day is really, really cool. But we'll actually show you how you can actually kind of step that up even more. So with regards to outsourcing admin tasks, the answer to this is actually going to allow you, any trade business, to actually make more money in your business, give you back heaps of time within your business, and actually give you freedom, because ultimately that's what we all want, isn't it? To be able to take some time off, even one day in a week, or like go on a holiday for 2 or 3 weeks in a year as an example, or more, and know that you are going to be making money, to be profitable whilst you're away. So that's kind of where the aim is. So here's the thing that you need to understand, and we all know this, it's all about your time. So we all only have 24 hours in a day. And if you feel like that picture that we showed you before of that guy that is just like totally full and can't fit another mouthful in his mouth, then if that's you right now, then how can you possibly add one extra task, additional administrative task to your plate when there's no time left in your mind? But when you only have 24 hours in a day, there are people out there who use their time really well, aren't there? So we kind of need to learn from these people.
Yeah, I was having a chat with a business the other day, and they were talking to me about their debt, actually, and how much debt they had. And they said, I just don't have any time to chase my debt.
Right.
And I'm like, well, do you realise, but I've got no cash flow. So their cash flow was really, really poor. They're trying to pay wages. They didn't have time to collect debt. And I said, well, you've got a choice. You either collect the debt or you can go broke. And there's many businesses that go, and this is a really important thing to remember. There's a lot of businesses out there that go bankrupt with good cash flow. They go broke with good cash flow, because if you can't feed and pay for your staff, then the staff are going to leave and you don't have a business. So, and that's what I explained to this guy, because he just didn't have the time. But what was that costing him? So that's where he had to look at outsourcing, to bring a company in to look at that.
Right.
And for the little bit of money that it cost him, it was way cheaper than him not working.
Yes.
And they brought the money in and everything was all happy again.
Right.
So what are you doing in your business? I think we're going to do an exercise on that. But what are you doing in your business that really someone else should be doing for you?
That's right. because this is all about leveraging your time, all right? So within that 24-hour period, what are you currently doing that are technically, lower level administrative tasks that, that you could actually get off your plate so that you can make more money and not feel so ridiculously overwhelmed and hence really stressed. So let's actually take you through a little exercise, which will be really, really practical for you. So if you looked at this slide, this actually splits what you perhaps do within your work environment and what you do perhaps in your home environment. So you could no doubt add to this list, like with lots and lots of other little points.
Well, I think the best thing to do here with this list is work out what do you do in a day, because every business is different. You can go off the guide that we've got there, but what do you do in a day, and make a note of everything. And I always say to the guys I talk to is, in your business, what do you do in a week? What do you do in a month?
Yes.
And write it all down and have a big list.
Yep.
And once you've done that with work, I think the next big one is, well, what do you do at home?
Yes.
What do you do at home? And make a big list of what that is. Now, I was just laughing because I know us tradies, sometimes we work very, very hard. And
what do you mean by sometimes?
Sometimes we do work very, very hard, and we come home and there's still so much to do around the home as well.
Of course.
What is it for you? I had a chat with a guy and he was so busy, but he still mowed his own lawns. And I think as a tradie, it's almost like we were brought up doing it with our dads, and it's almost like being lazy doing that. But you've got to really weigh up, what is your hourly rate worth, And you might be sitting there now thinking, well, I charge $70 an hour.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.